name is Shek. Last name is Berry. I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey, and originally I'm from Senegal, West Africa. Came here when I was like 7, and yeah, Senegal. It's completely different from here. Society is completely different. The way of living is completely different, and the cost of living is definitely completely different as well. Like if you go over there, like on the street, you'll see like little kids like begging for food and stuff like that. Like that's not the majority of it, but like that's something that like as a kid, or if you go back home and you see that, it really makes you want to make a difference, not only back home, but like in general in society as a whole. You know, I feel like not a lot of people are like too concerned about trying to make a difference. You know, people are a little bit too self-centered in a way, only thinking about how to make a difference in their own lives and not really in society or like back home, you know, if you're from somewhere else other than here.
Do you miss anything about Senegal?
The food. The food is definitely one thing that you'll definitely miss out there. They eat this food called chicken yassa. They have dibi. Dibi is like basically a steak. Chicken yassa is onion sauce with chicken and white rice. Really, really good. My first impression, this is completely different. Automatically, I wanted to fit in. Like that's the coming from a different country, you just want to fit in. Like that's the first thing you want. You don't want to be an outcast. You don't want to be laughed at, and you want to just show that, you know what, I'm just like you. But so automatically you try to change yourself, change the way you talk, try to learn the language as quick as you can, and through that process you kind of lose yourself. You know, like as the years go by, like a piece of your heritage, a piece of you falls or leaves. So like that was one thing about growing up here, or like coming here, that mindset change or switch or shift. There was like when I got here it was like 2007, so like they were using a lot of like jokes about being African booty scratcher, all that type of stuff. So like yeah, it sucks as a kid, so you automatically try to be American in a way. But what you don't understand is what makes you you is your heritage. Like that's what makes you stand out. Everybody wants to be like the next person, but like nobody wants to be themselves. But a lot of people forget that like the true power is being you, because nobody else is you. You know, even when you're making a design, like when I make my designs, I try to think, what would I wear? How would I wear it? You know, how would somebody in my type of mindset or my setting would wear that? Because that's really who you want to market to, people who will actually connect to your pieces or to your art. You know. But yeah, so I have this clothing brand. It's called Eclairs. It means enlightened ones in French. And I came up with that around 2020, because 2020 was, I guess, for everybody. Because everyone I talked to said it was a shift of paradigm, or like a shift of way of thinking. Everybody started to really look deep inside themselves. So like during that period, or that time period, I really started to really look inward and really try to figure out who I am as a person, and not who I'm trying to be or who I'm trying to portray to the world. There's low-key a Japanese saying, I don't know how to say it in Japanese, but it's we have 3 faces: what we show to our family, what we show to our friends, what we show to the world. And the moment that you realize that you should be only showing one face, who you are, is the moment you're truly at peace. Because now you're not trying to be somebody. You're not trying to really. You're not looking for. You're not making any expectations of anything. You know, you're just living, and that's truly what peace is. But like, so that's really what I kind of got like mad out of thing. But like that's really what I try to push with my pieces or my clothing. I want to make people more aware of self and society as a whole. And like by doing that, I try to do it by being me, doing different fabrics. I love fabrics. I love textures. So like this is actually one of my pieces. I don't know if you guys can see it. Right here. So there's denim here, and then it's a full fabric, and then this is like 100% cotton. And like yeah, so like that's pretty much what I like to do.
So what?
I do t-shirts, I do pants, I do sweaters. Like I'm trying to like, as the year goes by, because I just started this around April. So as the years are passing, I'm trying to gain a new skill. I got here around 6. I was actually, crazy story, I was actually supposed to be here at 4, but I wanted to go play basketball. So I went and played some basketball, and then I came here. I did alright. I don't really come here expecting anything, because I already know my clothes is not for everybody. It's only for certain individuals who are aware and able to be themselves and wear crazy clothes like with crazy fabrics and stuff. So I don't really come expecting to get customers. I basically come out here to meet whoever is going to connect with my piece. You know, like, because those are really the people that I want to be able to talk to, have a conversation with, because we're like-minded in a sense. You know, so like they're gonna actually wear my piece how it's supposed to be worn. You know, like whether it's the color, like, because once you connect with the piece, whatever color it is or whatever the design is, you'll be able to wear it way better because it means something to you. It's not just the brand, and that's really what like the forefront of my clothing brand I try to push. Really, mostly here. I tried in Soho one time. That was pretty good, but mostly online. The thing about Jersey's not like New York. Everybody's trying to be somebody they're not. Everybody's trying to be, like I said, somebody else. Here, New York is the only place where you really find individuality. You know, people trying to be them. They're on their own type of timing. You won't find that in Jersey. So like automatically, I just come to New York and just get that refreshing vibe of passion. You know, because that's really, you don't see that in Jersey. That's why I come over here. Yeah, I actually promote some of my clothes through Facebook Market, not Facebook ads and Instagram. They have to take that risk. Literally, it's all about getting uncomfortable. You know, a lot of people think that they can achieve what they want to achieve by being comfortable and sitting back and it'll just come to them. You have to go and get it. You have to. Sometimes it's gonna be hard. Some days you're not gonna want to go outside and talk to people, but you just have to do it. You just have to push, and most importantly, just be you. That's the only way for you to be able to succeed in this world. Like, there's only one you. There's 100 million people, but there's only one you. You know, so like just be you and do whatever feels right in your gut. Pretty much all that. But yeah, I learned about like compassion through appreciating other people's art and appreciating my art and incorporating that into my own. Like a lot of people like to just focus on one genre of art, music, or whatever. But like you should be able to go into explore all different type of genres and then incorporate it into your own. So that's really what I learned, is being able to be compassionate about other people's art and what they're trying to say and how can I incorporate that into mine and make it my own. Because people come up with original ideas, but a lot of people get inspired by somebody, by something, by someone, something they heard. So yeah, another huge thing, another advice: be aware of your surroundings. Because the more aware you are, the more not only the more enlightened you are, but the more you're able to know what makes you tick, what you like and what you don't like, and that's really, so you know your limits. So that's another huge thing. But yeah, I'm going too off topic.
No, you're good.
But yeah, I got my first sewing machine 3 months after I had the idea, and I was terrible. Like, this was my first piece. Yeah. It was really like, if you look on the other side, like on the back side of the shirt, there's holes and everything. So like over time, I learned how to literally adapt to making mistakes and stuff. So the more you practice in whatever craft you want to do, the more you learn about yourself and the craft in general. You get your own techniques and all of that. So yeah, the only way for you to be able to come up with something new is to fail. Like the moment that you fail in something, that's when you have to, oh, you know what, let me think on my feet, how can I fix this? And by fixing it, you come up with something completely different than what you had in mind. You know, and I truly believe in like divine timing, and like everything happens for a reason. You know, like you're supposed to go through this in order for you to achieve in something else. Because if you didn't go through that, you wouldn't be prepared for this success or whatever it is. You know, so like you have to literally take everything in strides. You have to little by little, you know, live life. Stop trying to expect things and like chase something. Just be you and just live life. That's it. That's all I can really say. My biggest regret was not knowing my limits and not being aware of the people that I had around my space. Because I didn't know that the people I was hanging around with was changing me for the worse. So like, definitely choose your friends wisely, because that's how you lose yourself. You know, if you're around people who are trying to be other people and they don't know who they are, you're gonna automatically try to assimilate with them and try to be something you're not. But if you're around people who are just really individual-minded or strong-minded, you're gonna become the next strong-minded person, you know? And they literally have to push you to grow. You can't be around people who are just doing the same thing every day, because if you're trying to get somewhere, they'll take you absolutely nowhere. You feel me? You'll just be doing nothing. You want to be around people who strive, who push you, who want to grow, who want to make a difference. Even though that sounds mad cliche, and it's really hard to make a difference, but just the attempt makes a difference. Just the attempt of making a difference makes a difference. But yeah, you have to know, like I said, you have to be aware of what type of energy you're putting out to the person you meet. You know, you don't want to be around somebody who's going to be negative all the time. So you have to already read that and just move away from it, because you know that's not the type of energy you want to be around. And that's what also I take it back to, like, being aware, which is what being enlightened is. Awareness of self, awareness of everything around you, and awareness of society. Because if you're not aware of what's going on around you, what are you doing? Like, you're just doing nothing. Like, you're just going wherever someone takes you, you're gonna go there. Like, you're just a puppet, basically. But yeah, if you're literally driving a car and you have a friend to the right of you in the passenger seat, and another friend to the back of you telling you, one friend's telling you go right, another friend's telling you to go left, you're literally gonna have, you're not gonna do anything. You're just gonna sit right there. You have to literally go and make that decision. You literally have to take a risk, either whether go right or left. You just have to take action. That's another thing. Take action. Because now every person that you meet, you're already trying to have a preconceived notion, like, oh nah, this person's negative, but this person's positive. You should already come, like, meeting somebody with no judgment at all. Yeah. Like, you shouldn't be already thinking like, oh, this person's this or that. You should literally observe. That's really what reading people is. Reading people isn't judging them straight, being biased by what you see, what they wear. It's actually listening to them and actually listening to what they're talking about and all of that. Automatically, if you know you're not supposed to be somewhere, you get that. I know I'm not. That moment you get that feeling is the moment you react, and you're like, I might just step away from that. And that's, like I said, that's what being aware is. Being aware of your own feelings, knowing like how you feel about it, and being firm upon it. Like, you can't feel a feeling and then just, nah, I'm gonna just try it anyway, because you're gonna feel it. I promise you, you're gonna feel it. Yeah, that's true, but I want a Tesla though. Yeah. So 2025, I'll definitely have that Tesla.
You're gonna have the Tesla?
I'm gonna have a Tesla. Stamp that. I'm gonna manifest that. I'm gonna have a Tesla 2025.
Yeah.
Like, that's like my favorite car. Just because it's just.
No.
I don't really care for my clothing to be displayed. I just want people to be able to be affected by my clothing. Yeah. Like, that's really what matters. If you really think about it. Anyone can make clothing. Anyone can put a name on a shirt and just say, "This is my brand." But can you make somebody feel something? Can you change somebody's life through the work, through the art that you're making? Like, that's really what I try to push for. I don't care for successes. Yeah, it automatically is gonna get successful if you're already connecting with people. But I've definitely tried to, like, include people into it. But that's when you really start to realize that, like, if people don't see a vision that you're trying to put out, you can't force them to see it. Like, especially when whoever you were surrounding yourself with before was already on a different type of timing, they're not gonna change their whole lifestyle just to come and support you. You feel me? That's why when you're starting off, it's the hardest, because you will get no support. You'll have to do everything by yourself. And the moment you try to look for support, you will be let down. So, like, got my headphones on, I'm bumping music, I'm looking around for clothes and whatever. So I make a circle, and then I see him right there. And then we're just talking, and automatically, what gave it like that sign that, oh, this was actually like supposed to happen, or we were supposed to meet, was like, he was like, oh, I'm reading a book, and I'm like, oh, you're reading a book? I'm like, yo, you should read this crazy book called The Obstacle is the Way. And he's like, yo, it's crazy, I'm reading that right now. And he pulled it up, I was like, yo, that's crazy. And like, we literally just had such a crazy conversation about just not just life in general, but just goals and like being aware. And that's that's probably the most influential person that I met here, because he really made me realize a lot more things, and I'm just learning from him almost every day.